This week on Just Jason Keto and More, we're making a pizza stuffed frittata. So let's get started. So to make this pizza stuffed frittata this week, we're going to start off with 6 large eggs. That's usually how many eggs I use to make my frittatas. This turns into sort of a full meal for me if I'm only eating one meal a day. So what I'm going to do is I'll wind up splitting these up 3 at a time. You'll see how that comes into play a little bit later. And then obviously this is a pizza frittata, so we've got some shredded mozzarella cheese here. That's probably, you know, close to a cup of cheese, and then we're going to put some shredded Parmesan cheese on top just for some added flavor. And here's where it can get fully customized to what you prefer. Even the cheese is optional, whatever you like. This is the pizza toppings I'm going to put in this week. I've got some sliced olives here. I've got some banana peppers. I like these peppers for things like pizza. They're not too hot. Got to have some pepperoni for sure. And then I'm going to add some of this habanero hot sauce because I like to spice things up a little bit. Again, whatever you like in your pizza, this is where you make it your own. You could have bacon, Italian sausage, you could put mushrooms on it if you want. You could put in some low-carb tomato sauce if you want, or a homemade white sauce. Again, the sky's the limit. Whatever you like on your pizzas, go for it. This is just a basic recipe to show you, you know, what my thoughts are for this sort of stuffed frittata. So we'll get set up and we'll get making this frittata. Okay, so I've got some butter melted in this non-stick pan. This is about a 9-inch pan. The butter is not to help with sticking, obviously, it's just more for flavor. And then what I did is I took the 6 eggs and I cracked 3 at a time and mixed it up and split it up into smaller bowls. So I've got 3 eggs here, and then I've got another bowl with another 3 eggs. Again, you'll see where this comes into play. So what we're doing is we'll just wait for this pan to come up to temperature a little bit here, and then we'll start cooking the first layer of eggs. Now I've also got my oven preheating on the broil mode, because what we're going to wind up doing is we're going to cook the bottom of the eggs in the pan, and then we're going to cook the top under the broiler. This is the way that I do my frittatas all the time, and they seem to turn out quite well that way. So our pan is looking heated up now, so what we'll do is we'll just pour these eggs in, and we're just looking to cover the bottom of the pan here. So we'll just roll it around here, make sure we get good coverage in the bottom. Now we're going to let this mostly cook through here on the bottom, just to get it started on the bottom anyways, and then we'll transfer it to the broiler to cook it through a bit on the top. So I'll bring you back in a couple of minutes when we're ready to transfer it to the oven. Okay, so as we can see, these eggs have started to cook on the bottom. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the burner off, and then I'm going to put this under the broiler just for a couple of minutes to try and set the eggs on top. We definitely don't want to cook it too long under there. Probably just take 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll be right back to start with the next step. Okay, so the eggs are out of the oven. Didn't take long at all. You can see the edges have curled up a little bit. It's fully set in the middle. So what we're going to do is we're going to start adding our pizza toppings here. We'll just start with the cheese, get that down on there first. Now obviously how much cheese you put in this is going to be entirely up to you. I obviously want it to be nice and cheesy, so we'll put all of this in here. And this is a pizza mozzarella that I'm putting in here, so just trying to stay true to this, the whole theme of this recipe. So that's that. Now we'll put in some pepperonis here. Just go around the edges here. Now the idea is we're going to put in our toppings, and then we're going to take the other 3 eggs and we're going to basically pour it over top to try and sort of cover everything up at the same time, so it turns into a stuffed frittata kind of thing. So we'll take our olives here. These are just regular green olives stuffed that I've cut into slices. We usually have sliced green olives on hand, but we seem to have used them all up, so I just cut up a few here. Again, all of these toppings are optional and should be personalized to what you enjoy. In fact, if you put it down in the comments what you would put in your pizza stuffed frittata, that would be amazing. I'd love to hear all the different ways you would make this. So we're going to add these banana peppers now. Again, I like these peppers because they give it a nice, really nice flavor without adding a super amount of heat. We're going to add our heat with the habanero sauce here that's coming up next. This is just a straight habanero sauce. Give it a shake, and then we're just going to put a few drops in there. Don't want to go too overboard with that. Now, of course, you could add seasoning into this if you want to. I'm not going to worry about any salt and pepper or anything. We're going to add some of this Parmesan cheese on the top just before it's finished cooking, and that'll give it some salty, extra salty flavors. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 3 more eggs here, and we're going to just try to spread it out over top. Try and get as much of this covered up as possible. Basically, we wind up cooking all of these ingredients and toppings into the second layer of the frittata. So what I'm going to do now that those eggs are poured on top, is I'm going to put this back under the broiler for a couple more minutes. And just before we're done with it, and just, when it's just about done, I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to put this shredded Parmesan cheese on top, and then we should be able to try it. I'll be right back. Okay, so I think we're ready to add our Parmesan cheese here. So we'll get the pan out of the oven here. You can see it's cooking nicely here. It's starting to brown. The edges are really getting nice and browned on here. So what I want to do is just sprinkle some of this Parmesan cheese right on top here. Again, this will add a nice salty flavor on top of the pizza. I quite often put Parmesan cheese on top of my frittatas just to add that extra layer of flavor. So we'll put this back in the oven for a couple of minutes, and then we'll be right back to see the finished product. Okay, so it's been a couple more minutes and our frittata is done. So we're going to pull it out of the oven here. And as you can see, that cheese melted nice and golden brown on top. So what we're going to do here, being careful not to burn ourselves on the pan, is we're just going to turn this out onto my cutting board. And we're going to turn off the oven. I don't know about you, but half the time it's 20 minutes later before I even remember to turn off the oven. So what I'm going to do is we're going to give this just a couple minutes to cool down a little bit, and then we'll take our pizza, our cutter here, and we'll cut a couple of slices out of this, and we'll give it a try. Okay, so our frittata has cooled down a little bit. I don't want to let it get cold by any means, but I just wanted to let it stop steaming as it was. So let's just take our pizza cutter here, and we'll sort of cut it in quarters. And then I've got a plate here, and we'll just use a spatula to lift that out of there. without losing all of our ingredients. It's still really hot, so I may have to give that a couple more minutes before I can try it. But you can see that nice cheese layer in between the 2 layers of egg, and then obviously you can see all of the pizza toppings in there. So like I was saying, it is really hot still, so let me give this a couple minutes and we'll give it a try. Okay, well hopefully this is cooled down enough to give it a try. Now obviously you could just, you know, slice it up and eat it like a piece of pizza, but for the sake of the video, we're just gonna take a fork full here. Like I say, you can see all of the ingredients. I've got pepperoni and peppers and green olives and the cheese obviously in there, so let's give this a try. Yeah, that tastes really good. There is a ton of flavor in that. You know, to me that tastes like pizza. Obviously, I haven't had an actual pizza crust for, oh, I don't know, 5.5 years, 6 years, so I don't miss the crust. Frittatas are a great way, in my opinion, to deliver things like pizza toppings, so hopefully you enjoy. That's just another one of my creations. I'm sure other people have done similar things, but that's just one of the ways I like to enjoy a keto meal, basically. So if you like the content, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, turn on that bell notification so you won't miss another recipe video next week. And remember, we go live every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So until next time, keep on thriving, my friends.